Breaking news. Philippine supply ship heavily damaged by Chinese water cannons in a tense South China Sea standoff. The morning of March 23, 2024, began calmly over the South China Sea, but tension simmered beneath the surface. The Philippine vessel Unaiza May 4 set out to resupply the BRP Sierra Madre, a grounded warship and outpost at 2nd Thomas Shoal. This routine mission was anything but simple. Every trip here is a direct challenge to China's sweeping claims over the sea. Filipino sailors, escorted by the Coast Guard, knew they'd face resistance. As they neared Ayungin Shoal, the horizon filled with Chinese Coast Guard and militia vessels, intent on blocking their path. The standoff began. Chinese ships executed aggressive blocking maneuvers, horns blaring, as the Filipinos tried to reach their outpost. The Chinese goal was clear: stop the resupply at all costs. The world watched as a David and Goliath encounter unfolded in real time. The Filipino crew braced for confrontation, their mission now a test of resolve. The initial maneuvers were a tense ballet, with the Chinese ships cutting across the Filipinos' path. The Philippine captains navigated the maritime maze, focused on their countrymen aboard the Sierra Madre. But the Chinese were relentless, escalating their tactics. This was more than a blockade, it was a show of force, a message from Beijing to assert dominance over a vital waterway. The calm morning quickly gave way to chaos. The stakes were high: sovereignty, safety, and international law all hung in the balance. The confrontation was set, and the world's eyes were fixed on the shoal. What happened next would reverberate far beyond these contested waters. The standoff escalated as Chinese Coast Guard ships closed in on the Unaiza May 4. Without warning, high-pressure water cannons erupted, slamming into the supply boat with brutal force. Windows shattered, the ship's structure buckled, and crew members scrambled for cover. The attack was sustained. 2 Chinese ships took turns blasting the vessel for nearly an hour. The water jets targeted the bridge and communications, aiming to disable the ship completely. Several Filipino crew members were injured. The situation became a life-threatening emergency. Despite the chaos, the crew displayed remarkable bravery, refusing to turn back immediately. But with navigation and communication systems damaged and water flooding in, the captain had no choice but to halt the mission. The focus shifted from resupply to survival. The Philippine Coast Guard documented the assault, releasing footage that shocked the world. Images of massive Chinese ships towering over the battered Filipino boat went viral, sparking international outrage. The damage was more than physical, it was a blow to maritime safety and diplomatic norms. The mission for the Unaiza May 4 was over, but the incident had ignited a global debate. The world now had undeniable evidence of the escalating danger in the South China Sea. The battered vessel limped away, a symbol of defiance and vulnerability. The water cannon attack was just one part of a larger, coordinated blockade. China's Coast Guard was joined by maritime militia, ostensibly fishing boats, but in reality, a paramilitary force. Together they formed a floating wall, blocking every approach to 2nd Thomas Shoal. This gray zone tactic lets Beijing project power while maintaining plausible deniability. The Philippine Coast Guard's BRP Cabra, escorting the mission, was also harassed. Chinese ships sailed dangerously close, trying to isolate it. After the Unaiza May 4 was disabled, the Cabra shifted to rescue mode. From China's perspective, the blockade worked. The main supply ship was stopped, but a smaller, faster Philippine boat managed to slip through, delivering supplies and rotating troops on the Sierra Madre. The outpost survived, but the message was clear: China's control is tightening. The battle for access is now a high-stakes game of cat and mouse. The March 23rd clash followed another tense encounter just 2 days earlier. Filipino marine scientists on a peaceful research mission near Thitu Island were intercepted by Chinese ships and a low-flying military helicopter. The message was unmistakable: no Philippine activity, not even science, would be tolerated in these contested waters. Despite intimidation, the scientists managed to outmaneuver the Chinese and conduct research on 2 sandbars. Their success was a small but significant act of defiance. This incident revealed a pattern. China is now blocking not just military, but also civilian and scientific missions. The expansion of these tactics shows Beijing's determination to solidify control. The scientists' ordeal was a warning. The confrontation at 2nd Thomas Shoal was not an isolated event. China's efforts to dominate the region are systematic and growing. The stakes for the Philippines and the world are rising. After the clash, Manila and Beijing launched a war of words, each side telling a different story. The Philippines condemned China's actions as reckless and illegal, releasing video evidence of the attack. China claimed its actions were lawful and accused the Philippines of provocation. Both sides invoked international law, but China dismissed the 2016 tribunal ruling that invalidated its claims. With no common ground, the risk of future clashes only grows. The incident drew immediate attention from Washington. The U.S., bound by a mutual defense treaty with the Philippines, condemned China's aggression and reaffirmed its support. Recent clarifications mean any armed attack on Philippine vessels in the South China Sea could trigger U.S. defense commitments. The State Department's statement was a direct warning to Beijing. Further escalation could have severe consequences. The U.S. continues freedom of navigation operations, backing its ally, and challenging China's claims. China, in turn, accuses the U.S. of meddling and fueling confrontation. The Philippines is now caught in a great power rivalry, its territorial dispute a potential flashpoint for U.S.-China conflict. The stakes have never been higher. Every incident now risks drawing in the world's superpowers. The South China Sea is a powder keg. One spark could ignite a global crisis. At the heart of these confrontations is the BRP Sierra Madre, a rusting ship-turned outpost, and a symbol of Philippine sovereignty. Deliberately grounded in 1999, it's manned by Marines enduring harsh conditions, their lifeline the dangerous resupply missions. China's strategy is clear. Cut off the outpost, force the Philippines to abandon it, and erase Manila's claim. For the Philippines, holding the Sierra Madre is a matter of national pride and strategic necessity. Each successful resupply is a victory, proof that Manila won't be intimidated. The ship's decaying frame is a geopolitical landmark, a constant reminder of unresolved tensions. China demands its removal, the Philippines refuses. The Sierra Madre stands as the front line in a struggle for sovereignty. Its fate is tied to the future of the South China Sea. The clashes at Second Thomas Shoal are part of a much larger struggle over the South China Sea. China claims nearly the entire waterway, overlapping with the exclusive economic zones of several countries. The sea is vital for global trade and rich in resources, making it a strategic prize. China has built artificial islands, turning reefs into military outposts and projecting power across the region. Other claimants, like the Philippines and Vietnam, have strengthened alliances and defenses in response. The U.S. and its allies insist on international law, but China rejects these legal frameworks. The risk of miscalculation is high. One wrong move could trigger a wider conflict. The South China Sea is now a web of rivalries and alliances, a potential flashpoint for global confrontation. The world's attention is fixed on these contested waters. The path to peace remains elusive. The March 2024 incidents mark a dangerous escalation in the South China Sea. China's use of water cannons to disable a Philippine vessel signals a new level of aggression. Each resupply mission now faces greater risk, as China's tactics grow more forceful and sophisticated. Filipino sailors risk their lives with every voyage. Retreat means conceding sovereignty, but pushing back could spark war. The stakes are global. A conflict here could disrupt trade, destabilize the region, and trigger the U.S.-Philippines Defense Treaty. The world watches as the crisis deepens, the Sierra Madre still standing as a symbol of defiance. The Chinese blockade remains, tensions mounting with each new incident. The South China Sea is on a knife's edge. The question is not if, but when, a more serious clash will erupt. The world must confront the consequences of letting this crisis spiral out of control.